Ladies and gentlemen, meet my friend, Glenn Lundy.
I want you to know that all of these things that you're doing, every step that you're taking, is making an impact.
That was really good and really bad. I can't tell which one.
It's you that's got to walk the miles. You're the only one on this journey. This is your story. You get to write it. As long as you're looking around and worried about what everybody else has got going on, you'll never be able to write the story that you want.
They say that a great speaker has the ability to captivate an audience with the very first sentence that comes out of his mouth. You guys can sit down. They also say that a great speaker has the ability to take the anticipation of an event and drag it out for as long as humanly possible. Because you know there's that anticipation that came from, like, my friends that came here all the way from California, right? They had the anticipation thinking, okay, there's this event, this Grow Your Business for God's Sake thing. And we had anticipation in the people that drove down from Pennsylvania to be here today, and anticipation in the people from Indiana that made the drive, and the people that flew in from Wisconsin. Where's Wisconsin? They had this anticipation leading up, right? Like, what's this event going to be about? It's going to be amazing. And there's anticipation that builds up as people post all the different posts and all the different pictures, and everything's on Instagram and everything's in the stories. And we just get really, really excited. And they say that a great speaker understands that all of that anticipation that's leading up to this moment right here, they know how to use it. Just drag it out. And to take that anticipation, to take that opportunity to basically connect with their audience on a much deeper level. And to connect with the audience in such a way that maybe, just maybe, if everything goes well, they'll be able to use the power of words to reach in, to touch their souls, and to change their lives. Now, you see, I've experienced this myself. I've experienced it quite a bit, actually. There are speakers whose words have literally changed my life, and if my clicker works, oh, there we go. There are speakers whose words have literally changed the course of my life forever. Speakers like Eric Thomas, who used words to move me. You've got Joyce Myers, Jim Rohn, Les Brown, John Maxwell, the great Martin Luther King. Speakers like Danelle Delgado. Thought you guys might like that one. But these speakers have literally changed my life with their words. But there is one speaker that has changed my life more than all of those other speakers combined. And that's this guy right here. It's Jesus. You see, Jesus was able to captivate an audience with a sentence, wasn't he?
Yes, sir.
He still does it today, 2,000 years later. See, Jesus understood that anticipation moment that we were talking about, right? Like he used to travel all around. Jesus would travel around and he would gather all these people up, right? Anywhere that Jesus was going, people knew he was coming, right? And they would gather up. And you want to talk about anticipation. Like we're worried about Snapchats and Instagrams and luggage and all this stuff. There were people back then that were like, if I could just touch his robe. If I could just touch his robe. There were people back then who their anticipation was, if I can just get him, if he would just pray over me, I'll be able to see. If I can get close enough to him, if I could just get close enough to him, I'll be able to walk again. And see, Jesus understood this moment of anticipation that leads right to it. He understood and he utilized that anticipation, right? He utilized it. He'd come together. He'd be like, all right, come on. I'm going to make you wait till the very last minute. And then he'd come through. And the miracle didn't necessarily come just from Jesus' hands. It came from your belief that he could do it. That anticipation for that moment. So Jesus, to me, is the greatest speaker of all time. He's moved me. He's captivated me. And what I'm excited about is I really, really feel like if we were to strip away all of these lights, strip away all the tables, all the fancy stuff, like Cornerstone hooked us up, right? Like this place is legit, right? But if we were to strip all this away, the screens, so on and so forth, and all we had left is just me and you, just us, the people, like all together, right? That's what I think it looked like back then. Believers, non-believers, old people, young people, people with different backgrounds, traditions, all just coming together like, man, I got to get a piece of this dude, right? So I think we have an opportunity here over the next 2 days, something super special. I think we have an opportunity to strip away some things that have been holding us back a little bit. And to take all this anticipation and this belief, and we've got the most incredible speakers that you could possibly imagine, and I think we have an opportunity to let our souls and our hearts be opened, and it just might change our lives. It just might change our lives. So regretfully, Jesus couldn't make it. I tried to get him as one of the speakers on the lineup, but he said he couldn't quite make it today. So regretfully, Jesus is not going to be with us over the next 24 hours, but I really do believe that God will be. I think that God's going to be with us out there. I think he's going to be with you. I pray that he will be with us up here. And my good friend Galen Davis, this is his church, and he says all the time, he says, God is above us. God is below us. God's to the left of us. God's to the right of us. And God is in us. He's in our hearts. So I believe that if we go into this weekend with that mindset, we have an opportunity to change your life. Fair enough? Now, before we get going too crazy, though, we do have some house rules. Frank had the boring house rules. I've got the good house rules. House rule number 1, if you like what you hear, I want to hear you. Fair enough? All right? We're family in here, right? This is family. So if you like what you hear, I want to hear you. Like I want us to get so rowdy and so crazy that the people that are driving by on the road are like, what is going on with them crazy Christians up in that place? That's what I want them to say. Whether it be Darian and the band killing it on the tunes, if you like what you hear, I want to hear you, okay? If it's the speakers, if you like what you hear, I want to hear you. All of that. If you like what you hear, I want to hear you. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, you are required to double your income in the next 90 days. Oh, wrong, where's my slide? There you go. You are required to double your income in the next 90 days. You guys like that? Okay, and if we like what we hear, we're going to do what? That's what I'm talking about. You are required to double your income in the next 90 days. I'm not messing around. I'm not playing. Listen, you have an opportunity over the next 24 hours to listen to some of the most incredible business minds on the planet. They are here with you, dedicated their time, committed to show you, to give you the tips, the tricks, the strategies, everything that you need to know to be able to double your income in the next 90 days. If you walk away from here and you do not follow through on rule number 2, I blame you. I'm gonna tell you right now, Benstock, Copeland, Lecter, Brewster, Delgado, Dyson, it's not them. You are required to double your income in the next 90 days. Fair enough? Anybody okay with that? Rule number 3, I need you to leave your, I don't know what words we can say in here. I need you to leave your stuff at the door. I need you to leave your stuff at the door. I know that you might have a bill that needs to be paid. I know that maybe you have some anger or some resentment in your heart. I know that there's stuff going on in your life. I understand that 100%. But for the next 24 hours, I need you to just leave it over there, like right outside the sanctuary. You can go back and pick it up if you want. I prefer that you don't, but I don't want you to bring it in here, because in order for us to fill you with new stuff, we gotta leave some of this other stuff out of the way. We gotta get some of this stuff out, right? We got to make space for some of the new stuff. So all of the anger and the hate and the regret and all that stuff, just leave it over there for the next 24 hours, okay? Rule number 4, do not allow anyone that is not in this room right now to talk you out of any ideas that you get while you're in this room right now. I need you to understand something. We have lights, we have sounds, we have certain settings. Everything in this place is strategically put together so that we can tap into a part of you that you don't normally tap into. And what will happen over the next 24 hours is your mind will start to expand, your brain will start to connect, and you'll start to connect all these different synapses, and you'll have some brand new ideas that are uniquely yours. They belong to no one else. They're uniquely yours. And what's crazy is that no one else outside of here is going to be able to see what you see, hear what you hear, smell how you smell. They're not going to get it. But it's not for them. It's for you. This is your idea. This is your opportunity to change your life. Now, when you go out there, they're going to say, oh, stop it. This rising grind crap, you don't know what you're talking about, right? They're going to say, oh, stop it, man. That's a cult. You need to stay out of that stuff. You guys have heard it. I hear it all the time. Hashtag, right? But the truth is, it's not for them. They don't need to get it. They're not going to get it. So rule number 4 is simple. Do not allow anyone that is not in this room, do not allow anyone that is not in this room to talk you out of any ideas that you get while you're in this room. We are going to tap into parts of your brain we've never tapped into before. And my hope is that God, big G, is going to take the unique ideas that only you can create. You're the only one. You're the only one that can do it, uniquely made by the God of the universe. If you don't execute, you let somebody talk you out of it, we all suffer. I don't feel like suffering. Fair enough? Fair enough. Oh, I keep getting ahead on my slides. Rule number 5, I need you to be right here in the moment. How long are you going to live roughly? Somebody say 70 years, 80 years, 90 years, 100 years. Who knows? With technology, it's going to be crazy. We're going to live for a while. We hope, God willing. We're going to be around for a good amount of time. I need 24 hours. I need 24 hours. See, as human beings, what we tend to do is we spend so much time in the past and so much time in the future, and we spend zero time right here in the moment. Well, this moment right here is God's opportunity to reach inside, grab you, and change your life. So I need you to put the phone away, put the emails away, put the texts away. You left the kids with a good babysitter, or you wouldn't have left. You don't got to check in every hour. I don't need you to worry about it. They will survive. 24 hours is all I'm asking for. Be right here with me for 24 hours. Deal? Number 6. Look, I'm talking all this serious stuff, and then I'm like, use the hashtag grow for God. Seriously though, there's 2 reasons I want you to use the hashtag grow for God. Reason number 1 is obviously this is an experience that I want you to share, and I want get people to get hyped up about it, and I want you to see it in your Facebook memories a year from now. You're like, oh yeah, that was that event at Cornerstone, Nashville. It was amazing. I promised Glenn I'd double my income in 90 days, right? So I want you to see it for that. That's one. Here's the other reason though, on a very serious note. There's a war going on out there, people. There's a war going on out there. So the more times I can get that big G word, whether it be an Insta post, a Facebook post, I don't know about you, but I believe the world needs more God. Amen? So use the hashtag. Spread the word. Don't be scared. Rule number 7. I need you to understand that you are not here by chance. It was not a coincidence. You were specifically chosen to be in the seat that you're in right now, in the moment that you're in right now. Chosen by God. There are 7 billion people on this planet. 7 billion. 6,999,999,000 are out there. But you're in here. And you were chosen to be in here. And here's how I know this. Because if I was the king, let's just play a game. Let's imagine I'm the king of a land and there's a war going on out there. And I'm like, I need to fight the war and win. What would I do? I would hand select. I would choose very specific people, the fastest, the strongest, the most adaptable, right? I would find the people with the abilities to go out there and win the war for me. And I would hand select them, and then I would pluck them in an environment where I could train them and give them the latest technologies and give them everything that they need so that they can go out there and win. There's a war going on out there. We're in here. We get to do something about it. You were chosen because you have the ability to do something about it. You have the skill set required to do something about it. You're the business owner, you're the entrepreneur, you're the up-and-comer, you're investing in yourself. You are the people that can change the world. Do you understand this? It's you in this seat. You were chosen. So now that you know that you were chosen and you have the ability to change the world, I need you to also know that with that ability comes responsibility. You have a responsibility to grow your business for God's sake. You have a responsibility to go out there, to train, to invest, to get better, to learn, like Brian says, to learn and unlearn and relearn. You've got a responsibility. You're the chosen one. If you don't do it, who's going to? Right? That's what's up. That's my dog right there. We have the ability and the responsibility. Now, I understand this. See, I was the general manager of a large car dealership in a small town. I was making more money than 99% of the population. Way more than 99% of the population. I was in a comfortable position. I was the face of the dealership. I had worked my way up. I had done all of the things. I'd put 20 years in. I earned my spot on the couch if I wanted it. I had earned it. I had done it. And I realized after going to this event in October where I was all like fanboy over one of the speakers, I was all fanboy, and I ran over to my friend Danelle, and I was like, Danelle, he's talking to me. He like he wants my phone number. I can't believe it. And Danelle, her heels. So Danelle comes over and she whispers into my ear and she's like, Glenn, you are the asset. You are the asset. Whatever room you go in, you're the asset. For your family, you're the asset. On this planet, you're the asset. Quit fanboying over everybody else. You're the asset. She whispered those words to me. And when I went back to work after this event, and I didn't necessarily feel like an asset, I felt a little bit underappreciated. Then all of a sudden I felt this tug. It was like right here around my appendix, but my appendix is gone, so I knew it wasn't my appendix. It had to be something else. But there was a tug, and the tug was saying, Glenn, you were made for more. You have more lives to touch, more lives to impact. You were made for more. You are the asset. And so I decided in that moment, where's my wife? She's probably hiding. I decided in that moment to leave this position that I had, this incredible position that I'd earned, where I was making all the money and all the bills were paid and life was good and we had lots of babies running around. I think they're running around right now. But I decided to leave because I believed that I was called for more and that I have a responsibility to pour into you and you and you and you and you and you, hi, and you and not just the people in my tiny little town of 9,600, right? So when I left my job, it was a Monday. I remember going home at 9:30 on a Monday, right? So I want you to imagine, ladies in the room, where's my ladies at? You guys here? That's what's up. I want you to pretend like you're 9.5 months pregnant with your 6th child, okay? And you've been a stay-at-home mom forever, right? Daddy's been bringing home the bacon, and he shows up at 9:30 on a Monday, and you're like this. There she is right there, look. And Daddy shows up and he says, hey, honey, I quit my job. The one I've been working 70 hours a week at for the last 8 years to get in the position I'm in now. Yeah, I left. I was scared to death, man. I was scared to death. But I told her that I quit my job, and I'll tell you, man, my wife smiled in that moment bigger than I've ever seen her smile in our entire relationship. And that's when I knew. I was like, okay, this is the right thing. This is what we got to do. And so it was good for, a few days. It's like, yeah, I ain't got no job. This is cool. Where are we going to go? I think I hopped over to Vegas real quick. I'm like, Vegas, I can do that. Now we're going to come back over here. Then after a few days, my wife's like, I'm going to need you to get out the house, bro. What are you doing? Like, what are we going to do for real? Like, you just quit your job. Like, what are we going to do? How are we going to survive? How are you going to pay for these kids? I'm about to have a baby, like any second. So I was like, all right, babe, we'll figure something out. And so I had gotten a contract with Dupree Miller. They're a literary agency. And so I'd got a contract to write some books. And my literary agent, she's like, okay, I need you to send me everything you've ever written. Easy, right? Just send me everything you've ever written. I'm like, okay, cool. So I sit down with an email, or pop open an email. I sit down, my wife's laying down to take a nap because she's about to have a baby. And I sit down and I start typing, and I typed these 6 words right here. grow your business for God's sake. And I was like, what is that? Where did that come from? Sounded like one of those sentences that completely captivates you in an instant. So I continued writing. I just flowed with it, and I continued writing, and in 2.5 hours, I outlined a 13-chapter book on grow your business for God's sake. Immediately after that, I had this guy named Steve Brewster on my show. Steve Brewster was on my show, #Rise and Grind. And so Steve comes on, and then after Steve's on my show, which my mom said he was the favorite, don't tell anyone else in here though, because a lot of you have been on my show. Sorry, Brian. So Steve was on my show, and then I get this call from this guy named Galen Davis. He's the head pastor at Cornerstone, and he says, hey, Glenn, we've got a problem in the church. We've got a problem where we're underserving a portion of the population because everyone's afraid to talk about money in the church. And so I need your help. Can you help serve my people in Nashville, Tennessee, and teach them a little bit about financial literacy and ways to grow their business? And I'm like, really? Did I just get this phone call? So I come down, we have lunch. I'm like, Galen, I got an idea. What if we have this big conference? We'll bring everybody in from all over the United States, and we'll hang out on a Friday night, and we'll hang out all day Saturday, and we'll teach them how to grow their business for God's sake. And Galen was like, here's the keys to the church. And here we are right now, August 16th, 2019, at the first ever Grow Your Business for God's Sake event. And my life has been completely changed because of that one little sentence. Isn't it crazy how God works? It's crazy. So knowing that sentence and knowing a little bit about the Bible and understanding that I have the ability and the responsibility to go out here and make an impact in the world, I want to share with you, in case you don't know, Matthew 25:14-30 is the parable of the talents. Now, I'm going to break this down for you really quick, but I do want you to understand that I am not a pastor at all. Not even close. I love God. I love work. I'm a fan of money and what we can do with it. But I'm not a pastor. They asked me one time, they're like, Glenn, you should be a pastor one day. I'm like, don't pay enough. Not for my visions and dreams. I'm trying to change the world. Let's go. I need a little, look, everybody's like, ooh, you can talk about money in here. That's why we're here. Matthew 25:14-30 is parable of the talents. The way this parable reads, and like I said, I'm just going to synopsis Glenn Lundy style. Fair enough? So you've got this dude that owns some land, right? He owns this thing, and he's got to go somewhere. He's like taking a vacation for a month or something like that. And he's got these 3 guys that work there, and he's like, okay, here's what we're going to do. What happened? Oh, he's got these 3 guys that work there, and he's like, okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you some money, and I'm going to give you some money, and I'm going to give you even a little bit more money, and then I'm going to leave, and you're going to do something with it, and when I come back, we're going to see what you do, right? Is that about right? Something like that? And so he calls them talents. They're called talents in the Bible. Talents is a certain sum of money, a certain value of money. So for this case, we're going to use 100, 300, and 500. Fair enough? So he gives one guy 100, another guy 300, another guy 500. The guy with 500 runs down to the market, starts like slanging whatever he's slanging, sells all kinds of stuff, turns his 500 into 1,000. Bam. The second guy takes his 300, he runs down to the market, he sells all kinds of stuff, he does all kinds of stuff, he turns his 300 into 600, bam! The third guy takes his $100 and he runs out into the yard and he buries it. He's afraid to lose it. He's afraid to take any risks. He's afraid to take any challenges. And he sits on it and he waits. Waits till the master gets back. So a month later, however long later, the master comes back. The master says, what'd you do with your money? One dude's like, dude, I took my 500 and I turned it into 1,000. The master's like, well done, son. Second guy said, man, I took my $300, I went down to the market, I turned it into 600. Master's like, well done, son. Third guy says, I was scared. I was afraid. You gave me these talents. But I was afraid, so I sat on them. I didn't share them with the world. And the master said, how dare you take the gifts and the talents that I have given you and keep them all to yourself? He said, give me that 100. And he gave it to the dude who made 1,000 because he knew he'd do well with it. This parable means everything to me. God has given me some gifts and some talents. He's given me the ability to move people with my words, to move people with my energy. He's given me the ability to bring people together on a high level, to help coach and to train. God's given me all of these gifts and all of these talents. How dare I sit on them and not go out there and make an impact in the world? He's given you gifts and talents too. Each of you, individual, your own gifts, your own talents. Are you sitting on them afraid to take risk? Are you afraid to take a chance? Are you being selfish with what was given to you? You have the ability and the responsibility to go out here and change the world. I'm going to challenge you over the next 24 hours to do that. Do me a favor real quick. Raise your hand if you need more money. Yes. I thought you guys might hesitate in the church, be like, oh, I won't get struck by lightning now. Every single person in this room just raised their hand that they need money, that they need more money. That's a problem. Do you realize that? That's a problem. Because the people that are in this room are incredible superhumans. I believe, like I would trust every single one of you with my kids. Actually, I have the last couple of days. Meredith come running out the back, Joel's going up the steps, whatever, right? Like you guys are amazing superhumans. You have kind hearts. You invest in yourself. You grow. You learn. You're willing to travel. You support me and rise and grind. Like you're the best of the best, the cream of the crop, the ones that were chosen with the abilities and the gifts. And yet you don't have enough money to go out there and fulfill the dreams and desires that you have on your heart, your God-given responsibility. That's a problem. We have to fix that. Let's just face the facts. It takes money to do these things. You see, I think this is the reason we run into this problem. I think everybody in this room has been misled by the facts. You guys say that, right? They say that a lot in automotive. They're like, he wouldn't be misled by the facts, right? It's supposed to be like a thing of facetiousness. I think that everybody in this room has been misled by the facts. I just define it a little differently. False analysis of current trends and stats. See, here's what we do. We take a look at where we were, then we take a look at how far we've come and how long it took to get there, and then we go, okay, well, if it took me 2 years to get here, it's gonna take me 2 years to get here. And I have to do this, and I have to move this, and I look at my stats, and I look at the current trends, and I look at the data, and I go, okay, and then I gotta do this, and I gotta make this move, and so on and so forth. And we look at all of these facts, which don't get me wrong. You need data, you need stats. To be a good business person, you have to be on top of this stuff. But I think what we do as human beings is we forget that everything that you're looking at is of earthly design. You're leaving out a key component. You're leaving out God. So what you do at that point is you limit your goals, you lower your targets, you say you can't do it, you won't reach as high as you should possibly reach, you won't go for that thing that you know you really dream in your heart, you feel guilty about wanting it. That's a problem. You've been misled by the facts. Here's the real deal facts. I don't care what you did in the last year. That's got nothing to do with nothing. You insert God right in the middle of it, there's no timetables. There's no timetables. 8 months ago, 9 months ago, I was running a dealership. Now I got handed a church. Go figure that. That's God. You can't analyze that. There ain't no stats that are gonna show Glenn's gonna go from selling 850 cars and 2 weeks later, then he's gonna be, it doesn't exist. It's not real. Please stop being misled by the facts. So we have a problem. We all need more money to be able to achieve the things that we need to achieve. And ultimately, I think what we've forgotten is that the real goal is true financial freedom. It's not, I want to make another 100 grand next year, I need to make $50,000 next month, or anything like that. It's true financial freedom. And when I say true financial freedom, I'm talking like I can build 100 hospitals in Africa, financial freedom, right? If you like what you're here, I need to hear you. I'm talking, I am going to try and solve malaria worldwide, financial freedom, right? I'm talking like, I can completely save a country, financial freedom, right? You guys are like, oh no, did he really go politics? Wait, why did my screen not sit? You killed my spot. There he is. I was wondering, like, no reaction. Usually you put that guy up there, you get something. You guys are like, this guy's crazy. He's talking religion, politics, all in the same talk? What's he thinking? I'm talking about the financial freedom required to buy your parents a house. I'm talking about the financial freedom where you can choose your family over your job. I'm talking about the financial freedom where you can truly live out the life that God designed you for, which is one filled with abundance. Yeah, you can cheer for that. It's one filled with abundance, one where you're out there making an impact in people's lives, where you're fulfilling that largest dream of yourself that you possibly have. So we have a problem, but the good news is there are solutions to this problem. There are actually biblical principles that have been around for over 2,000 years that we can use and apply in our businesses to reach those levels of financial freedom. Did you know that? They're actually there. I'm going to show you a couple. This one right here says, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is Romans 12-2. What that is saying right there is don't be a copycat. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Don't just watch what they have to do and then try to repeat it. What it's saying is you need to stand out. You need to be unique. However, listen to those words. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That means you must train. You must invest in yourself. You must learn something new. So we watch and we study and we learn, but we don't copy and mimic and repeat. Instead, we take what we learned and we create something new because only you can do you. My God. Yes, sir. 1 Corinthians 9:24 says, do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Don't be lazy. Don't do just enough. That's not going to get you to financial freedom. It won't work. Everybody's running. Ask them, how you doing? Busy. Where you headed? Gonna run to the store real quick. Just need to run by the office. My wife's running by Target. The kids are running by with no clothes on. Everybody's running. No, there's nobody that's not running. The difference between the ones that are winning at a super high level, like the Ben Stocks and the Lectors and the Delgados and the Brewsters and the Shaka Dysons, all the different people that we have speaking at this event, Lisa Copeland, the difference is they run in such a way as to get the prize. They run like they mean it. They run till it hurts, like literally hurts. I ask Brian when he comes up here next. He'll tell you, he hurt himself running so dang hard. It's what he does. It's how they run. There are biblical principles that if we apply in our businesses, we can achieve these financial freedom. They're right here. And these are the things that you're going to learn over the next couple days. We got two more, I think. Ecclesiastes 11:4 says, he who observes the wind will not sow, and he who regards the clouds will not reap. What that means is, it's never going to be the perfect time, dude. Stop waiting. Take action. Do it now. What are you going to do? Just sit there and look at the wind, be like, it's pretty windy out there. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Maybe I'll do it next week. It says right here in the Bible, if you do that, if you just observe the wind, you'll never sow. And if you're constantly looking at the storms, right? Let's change that word clouds to storms. If you're constantly looking at the storms in your life, the places where you messed up, the things that you made, the mistakes that you made, the regrets that you had, if you're constantly worried about the storms, you will never reap a harvest. Ever. So do it now. You know what's been getting at you. You know what's been eating at you. You know what that thing is. You know that dream, that vision, that business, that question that you need to ask, that person you need to forgive, that conversation you need to have, that ticket that you need to pay, that warrant that you need to take care of, whatever the heck it is. Just go do it now. It's never going to be the perfect time. Never. Do it now. And if you apply this in your business, take the risks, take the chances, quit waiting for the perfect opportunities, take action now, you can get to a level of financial freedom. You can get there. Last one. A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches. Whew. I'm gonna go with that one more time in case you didn't catch that. A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, and favor is better than silver and gold. Proverbs 22:1. What that's saying, my friends, is just do the right thing and treat people right. That's all that's saying. Do the right thing every single time and treat people right. Proverbs 22:1. I grew our dealership 800% in 5 years. 800% in 5 years. This was our secret weapon. This was it. Proverbs 22:1. We cared more about our name and how people felt about us than anything. That's all we cared about. If it didn't make sense, it wasn't our fault, it was gonna be too costly, who cares? I need people to love me, because guess what happens? When people love you, God will use them to bless you. Every single time. Listen, the speakers that you're getting ready to have on stage over the next 24 hours, every single one of the speakers, including my gangster friend Steve Brewster right there, I love that picture. Every single one of them have used biblical principles in their businesses to grow their businesses to the level that they're at right now. Now, they might not come up here over the next 24 hours and drop Bible verses. I'm not going to say that they're going to do that. But here's what I am going to tell you. If you listen over the next 24 hours, if you listen really intently, and you pay attention to their stories, if you see how they built step by step, if you listen to the strategies, what you're gonna find is that the reason they've been successful is they've been using biblical principles in their business this entire time. Whether it's a Bible verse or not. That's what every single one of them done. So what we need to do is extract from them. We need to learn. We need to renew our minds, right? Because we have a responsibility. We have both the ability and the responsibility to go out there and grow our business. So listen, it's your turn. It's your turn. I'm growing my business for God's sake right now. They've done really, really well, and they're going to continue to push. But see, it's your turn, because there's something that I know about you, and it's that your dream, your vision, your goal is different than mine, and God chose you specifically for that. And if you don't get there, if you don't reach that level, that super high level of financial freedom, if you don't reach that high level where you're impacting lives all around the world, if you don't reach that level, people will suffer. People will die. This world will continue to move in the direction that it's moving right now. It is your turn. It is your responsibility. I'm putting it on you. So with that said, I want you to remember the 7 rules this next 24 hours. Rule number 1 is, if you like what you hear, I want to hear it. Yeah? Rule number 2 is, I need you to double your income over the next 90 days. I know. I know it is. Rule number 3 is I need you to leave your stuff where? We're going to leave it outside. We're going to leave it at the door. Rule number 4 is any idea. Don't let anybody not in the room with you right now talk you out of any idea that you come up with in the room right now. Number 5 is I need you to be in the moment. Number 6 is use the hashtag Grow for God. And number 7 is the most important. I want you to remember that you were chosen.
Amen.
All right? You were chosen to be here. I'm so thankful for this opportunity to share this time with you. I am so thankful to be able to pour into you. I am so thankful that you took the risk, that you took the chance, that you made the travel, that you made the investment. I promise you, over the next 24 hours, if you open your hearts, you open your minds, you open your ears, you listen, stay right here in the moment, get deep dive focus, come in here with me into this little place that we built that's amazing. I promise you, you're gonna come out the other side a different person. It's like baking some bread, right? We're gonna get you to a point where you start to rise in your business, right? You're gonna rise in your business, and as you rise in your business, you're gonna start to evolve. You're gonna start to evolve into this person that's gonna go out there and make a massive impact on this planet. And the best part is, we're gonna do it all together. Fair enough? Fair enough. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you.
Mr. Glenn Lundy. We're all disobeying one of the rules already because I remember very clearly him saying, if you like what you hear, to do what? Let him hear it. Let's hear it from Mr. Lundy.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you. Frank?
Glenn? This is something else.
We've started. It's officially started.
There's no turning back now, you know.
No turning back. I hope the live streamers got their codes.
I hope they did too.
I hope
and if
they
they
did
didn't,
too.
they'll get them eventually.
Dude, I'm jacked up, man. This is going to be amazing.
There is something, all y'all don't know, but maybe about 10 minutes before we started, maybe some of y'all may have seen me, but I took a loop around the room, which is traditionally what I do. Before I speak or before I MC an event, I always try to walk through the back of the room and I try to get your perspective. I try to see what you're seeing. And a lot of times, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble right now. A lot of times I get to the back of the room and I want to run out the front door. Because there ain't nothing there. Glenn, what did I say to you after I made my pass?
Yeah, man. You just came back and Frank was like, Glenn, you need to go look out there. He said, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. Just the people, the setting, the environment. I mean, look at this. Look at where we get to spend time. Are you kidding me? This place is insane. It's so beautiful. And we can talk about real deal stuff, right? Like we can get raw. Like I've been talking to all the different speakers and they're doing presentations they've never done before because they couldn't do them in corporate environments or they couldn't do it in all these other places. But everybody knows that this is family here and we're gonna get real because there's some real life stuff going on out there right now, Frank.
Absolutely.
Real life stuff. And I'm ready to go to war. I'm ready to battle. I'm tired of kids getting shot. I'm tired of people killing themselves. I'm tired of people being broke. I'm tired of people giving up on their ideas. I'm tired of people not taking risks. I'm sick of it, man. So I'm ready to go to war, and I'm bringing all y'all with me because y'all are awesome.
All right, now, Glenn knows this, but I have a show on Facebook Live that I do, and once in a while I have a guest. And a lot of people don't like to come on my show because I ask them hard questions. And I don't tell them what the question is beforehand. But
you know me.
So I'll show you all. There's only how many questions on my card?
Oh.
How many questions on my card? There's only one question.
Oh man.
That's it. Just one question. Now I was backstage. I listened to your whole opening presentation, which was absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
But I got to ask you the real question. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Because look, man, you got to have guts. You got to have a lot of sleepless nights. You got to have a lot of anxiety running through your body. You got to have a lot of those, what in the world am I doing moments.
No doubt.
Why'd you do this?
Because he asked me to. That's it.
Expand. Tell us a little bit more about the story. When did the ask come?
He asked me to, man. That day when I was sitting in my office with Danelle in my ear, telling me that, I don't know, maybe it was God, maybe it was Danelle, I don't know. But no, man, just as I was sitting there in that moment, so I'm at work and I love my job, man. Don't get it wrong, y'all. I loved my job. I loved every minute of everything that I did. I never in a million years thought I would leave, ever. I loved it. I loved it. But as I sat there in that chair that day, and I just felt like if I don't do something now, I'm not going to get to reap the harvest. So he asked me to. I mean, I think he asked me to. What do you guys think? I mean, does everybody just get churches and amazing people and like, this is a God thing as far as I'm concerned. So he asked me to pour into people. I mean, that's why I get up every single day. It's why I do my show every single day. I don't get paid to do hashtag rise and grind.
I know you don't.
In dollars, but I do get paid in here, and I know that he's watching up there, man. And you know, if God asks you to do something, you do it. So that's how I feel about it.
I don't know if you remember. I'm going to share this with everyone. I don't know if you remember, but the story that Glenn is alluding to is the day that he left that 1%er job that he was talking about during his presentation. And one of the people who were blessed to see him that day was me. And when we sat together, I hope you remember this because it was good, but when we sat,
it was a whirlwind that day.
When we sat together, I looked at you and I said, what happened? And you told me, and remember what my response was? Congratulations.
That's right. Yep, I do remember that.
I said, congratulations, because now you can actually do what you were called to do.
Amen.
Now you can expand on not your education and not your work, but now you can expand on your vocation.
Amen.
The things that you do that if money comes, it's a byproduct, but at the same time, it's your vocation. It's what drives you. So I ask everyone out there right now, and then I'm going to, second question for Glenn. I ask everyone out there right now, no raise of hands, just answer honestly in your mind. How many of you all have a vocation? How many of you all have a calling? And you all are going, no, shh, no. Or you all are saying, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. What am I thinking? I'm not even going to say this to anybody. Glenn, how do you get the strength to overcome that self-doubt? And how do you get the fortitude to push past that silent, still voice, that silent, still negative voice in your mind?
Dude, I got the best friends on the planet. Are you kidding me? I got hashtag rise and grind. I got my rise and grinders pouring into me every single day. Like, here's one thing I know for a fact. Let's just say, not gonna happen, but let's just say all this like fell apart and I was like completely broke. There's like 300 people I could move in with right now. Right? And Steve, a lot of them got really nice houses. Steve Brewer's place is on a peninsula, water on 3 sides. I know Ben Stock's got some places in Manhattan, you know what I'm saying? Like Sharon's got a big old ranch.
You can live pretty large.
We're like, as long as I got them, as long as I got my people, my mentors, my coaches, my family members, my friends, my rise and grinders, as long as I've got that, you know, the doubt comes. Don't get me wrong, I'm human, I'll doubt, but they're my safety net right here. You know, my relationships are my safety net. And that's how I'm able to just keep pushing through. Sometimes it's terrifying, but look at this. Look at this.
This is amazing.
It is amazing.
And this is why whenever I speak at conferences, I always, and Glenn has seen me do this, I always congratulate everyone in the audience because of the fact that you made the effort and you made the leap to come here. So I express to all of you, and I know Glenn is right behind me with this, don't waste this opportunity. Most of us, the two of us right here, made a lot of the friends that we have to this day. A lot of my best friends, a lot of Glenn's best friends were made, the connection was made in settings like this.
No doubt.
Don't waste it. Absolutely. Today, tomorrow, don't waste it. This is a divine opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely divine. You were talking about Rise and Grind before,
Yep.
right? I think we need to learn a little bit more about Rise and Grind. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Hashtag Rise and Grind?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. We're going to learn a lot about it over the, we're going to learn a little bit more right now.
I believe so.
Right now. And then we're going to learn a little bit more tomorrow because I'll be back.
Hi, I'm Glenn Lundy, and welcome to the hashtag Rise and Grind headquarters. This is where we do all the things that we do, and I just wanted to give you a quick little tour of our place, and at the same time, I basically wanted to share with you what is hashtag Rise and Grind, why it's so important to me and to my family, and why it's important that you come join us in the Facebook group hashtag Rise and Grind. So as you can see, we kind of have a little studio here. We've got a couple employees that work. I've got my partner, Brandon. He does all the video work. We've also got Michael Kerrigan, who does a bunch of stuff for us. And we've got Jessica. She's my assistant. She's just incredible. So this is her desk. This is where she kind of hangs out. We're working on some projects right now, like the Grow Your Business for God's Sake event that you're currently attending. And we're going to be raising some money for some outsourcing, for some charitable type things, as well as for the church. So she handles a lot of that for us. And as you work your way around over here, we've got this incredible room, which is where my kids, the Lundys, who really have inspired a whole lot of this. The Lundys tend to hang out here. They watch TV, they eat Chick-fil-A, all that good stuff. And I wish I could drink some of that Chick-fil-A lemonade, but I can't right now. But basically, Rise and Grind, the way it worked is I just started. I had this show at 5:30 in the morning on January 6th of 2018. I was like, I'm going to do this show because I want to make sure that people know two things. One, they have hope for tomorrow. Somebody's going to be there for them. Two, that they're not alone and that they are children of God. So I went live 5:30 in the morning. I started doing this show. I started talking, sharing motivation, education, inspiration. And as I was doing the show, it began to grow and expand. More and more people started watching the show. And so we created this group, this Facebook group, hashtag Rise and Grind, that now currently has close to 30,000 members that have joined, people from all over the country and around the world. And what's crazy is it's blossomed into this network of just amazing people. We've all become more than friends. It's like this family. We get together, and some of us like to watch the show in the morning live. Some of us don't like to get up at 5:30 a.m., which is totally okay. So we've got some that watch live, some that watch later. Some don't even watch the show. They just come to the group for motivation, education, inspiration. It's a safe place. No negativity allowed, right? And so we created it, and it grew, and it's this group, and I want you to be a part of it. And it became a clothing line, and we have clothes, and we have gear, we have this office, we have this incredible studio, the hashtag Rise and Grind studio, which is a place where we film the show. We have different guests that have been here, like Danelle Delgado, who you guys have seen on stage here at the Grow Your Business for God's Sake event. She's a part of it, and she's been here, her signature's on the wall, and things like that. And one of the most incredible things that has happened with the Rise and Grind group is we've been able to see so many members of the group rise, evolve, and impact together. You've got the Twang sisters that have done amazing things, Derek McLean and Jill. We got my man Josh O that's been up in there. I mean, it's just this incredible group of people all over the world, literally all over the world. Their marriages have been changes, their relationships have been changed, their careers, they've been able to excel in their careers. We've been able to tap into the greatest, most amazing versions of people that they can possibly be. It's been absolutely incredible. I want you to be a part. Join our group. Hashtag Rise and Grind. You can search for it on Facebook. Make sure you put in the hashtag. I don't know how you do that with your hand. There you go. Make sure you put in the hashtag, search for Rise and Grind. Come join our group. We'd love to have you as part of the family.